Welcome to Abu Dhabi Talks. My name is Sana, and with me are Freya and Ro.
Hey.
Tonight, we have the incredible Amanda Tinnin as our guest. Amanda is the head of parent coaching services at Nurture Me Global, which is offering education, coaching, and support for parents and educators who are interested in creating positive, collaborative relationships with kids.
How are y'all doing?
Hi!
So let's start by learning what parent coaching is.
So I'm going to start with basically saying what it's not. It's not therapy. And although I can work alongside a therapist, it's really not recommended if you have severe anxiety, depression, or marital problems, marital distress. I do work with couples, but it's not about fixing things. It's about you stepping into your strengths and working on your challenges collaboratively. So if you're not capable of doing that, then parent coaching doesn't work. And what parent coaching is essentially is saying that everything is all inside of you. You just need a little nudge to get it out.
Actually, you are the very first parent coach I've ever met. I've never heard of parent coaching before.
It's pretty new. So my teacher in 2000 created the first parent coaching program in a university setting, applying what's called appreciative inquiry. So appreciative inquiry is a kind of coaching people pay thousands of dollars for, CEOs want. And it basically takes the idea from people like positive psychologist Seligman, who says we need to flip the script on how we look at problems. We need to look at what is working and how can we make it work even better. So for example, right now I'm working with an artist, and that's fantastic because I'm able to tap into my own strengths of creativity, openness, and vulnerability, and we just mesh really well. So what we're doing is creating actual images, and she's actually painting as we talk about her future and what it's going to look like. So it's not like a vision board. It's not something that's a cookie cutter kind of thing. It's individual to who the person is, what their strengths are, what their talents are. And when you tap into that, anything is possible.
Does parent coaching work like, say, premarital sort of counseling would work? Is this only something if you have children we could go to you with, or can you be parent coached as you're planning for children, or you're pregnant, about to have your first baby? Does it apply in the same way?
Oh, absolutely. And I think all of us would have wanted to have someone to help guide us through parenting before the child comes, because we all know that's where you have more time.
What kind of information would you share with them, sort of in a nutshell?
Oh, well, I would share that, you don't want to scare new parents, but you also want to have them, you want them to be aware that your focus right now, I know, is on pregnancy and your body and all those great things, but the relationship, parenting is a communal sport. And in a lot of places, in a lot of homes in the GCC, it's not. So you have to come up with partners, whether they be friends, whether they be people that are working in your house, that are going to help you co-parent. Or if you're a single parent yourself, and you're pregnant, for example. I mean, there are a lot of situations where I've helped parents before they actually had children to just really focus on self-care and couple care, and then intimacy. So intimacy can suffer. So when I work with parents, we do talk about that. A lot of people, they lose that part of their life. And it's really hard. So at every step, we have matrescence, the kind of becoming a mother. That's a very big part of people's lives. That can take over everything. It can make the man feel like he has no part or no role in parenting. And breastfeeding can also do that. So we have to take care of both. And I've worked with a lot of dads, actually.
It's interesting. I actually wanted to ask you, what is the kind of ratio you think of moms to dads? Do you see?
I've worked with more mothers, but I have worked with a surprising number of dads. Dads, for example, who are having blended family situations. So they're bringing in a child into a family, and then they have a new child coming, and they're trying to make sense of what is it going to look like. And that really is what parent coaching is about. We're envisioning what do we want it to look like? What's the ideal future that we want to see? And we can make it happen together if we work on it. And there's a process for doing that. But chances are what you think you want and what you actually really need and want are going to change in the process.
Opposing parenting styles. Mother has their own way of parenting, father has another. That's that kind of conflict.
It's common. It's really common nowadays because everyone's reading, right? So they're reading or they're watching. They all have an idea, an opinion, and then they also, not as often, so this is the problem, more often than not, the grandparents, the elders are a hindrance because the new way of parenting does not mesh with how they were parenting. And the core values are the same. So you help someone understand. A lot of times I'm working with families that are intergenerational. So you have grandma and maybe great-grandmother in the home and the grandfather in the home. And then how do we make sense of all that? Particularly when you have a culture where, there's a certain hierarchy. I was raised in an intergenerational family. So I was raised with my great-grandmother, grandmother, and grandfather. So I can draw from that experience to help say, there's certain priorities you set, and outside of that, you can't do anything else. The most important thing, you have to let go of a lot. And I think that's part of parenting in general, it is a communal sport. You want the other person to have, experience with your child. You want them to help shape your child and set the environment together. So when you're parenting, when I work with parents that are just becoming parents, it's much easier because they're kind of tabula rasa, they're a blank slate. They don't exactly know what to expect, but they have these ideas in their head and then they can play with them. Whereas when you are working with parents of older children, they've already had these set kind of established rules and things like that. Just remember, kids respond differently to different people. They respond differently to the dad than they do the mom, and that's okay. They expect different kind of relationship from the dad and the mom. Usually it's a more playful one with the dad, but not always. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes mom is more playful and less serious. So every family is a little bit different.
Okay. Well, this pandemic has absolutely, thrown a curveball to our parenting. Let's say, yeah. What are the most common things that you have heard from other parents, about the problems that they've been encountering with their kids?
I'd say screen time is huge. A lot of people are asking me, is it okay to have so much screen time with my kids' devices? And I say, if the child's over 2 in particular, like 2 to 3, just throw out all these ideas about screens and the guidelines. Think about your own sanity. And then at the same time, don't let them be babysat by them. You can actually do interactive things with screens with kids. You can ask them about their favorite characters.
Like we all have these days as parents where you just put the kids, you have things to do and they're on the electronics. How much does this set them back? Because that's a lot of work, having to fill the child's day with activities and nonstop. It comes a point where you're just like, sit on the 2 hours. So what happens in the event of, 3-4 months, following sort of, we've been to the parent coach, following these guidelines, the kids are off the electronics, and then bang, we have 2 or 3 days where they're on electronics.
It's okay. Let it go. It's fine. If they're on them all summer, all right. But are they getting what they need from you? Are they getting connection with you? Are they showing you with their actions? So either fight or flight responses, hitting, biting, fighting with someone, picking fights when they normally don't. Like normally.
Age group though, would you say, Jill, for that? So
say
this physical reaction as a result of this, lack of parenting attention or whatever. What age? Is there sort of brackets where we look for certain signs? Or
I mean, every child's different. So how they're going to respond is going to be different. Some children actually, what you want to look out, the most dangerous signal is a child who does not want to be at all social, who normally is social. A child who's locking himself in his room, for example, very quiet, very pale, very listless eyes, no energy, like lethargy, that type of thing. You want to really, really, really call that a warning sign that something is wrong and they need something, and you need to have a conversation about that. For fighting and hitting and all that, I mean, that really is normal. It's really part of the excitatory neurons that get, affected by TV. When you turn it off, they go through the roof. Like, you expect that. The kids are going to watch TV for 9 hours a day. That's fine. That's your COVID normal. It's not going to be the normal in a year, but that's what it is right now. And you have to just give yourself grace. Every psychologist in the world right now is saying, throw out those ideas you have about how long a child has to watch TV. What do we do? And chances are you can innovate, you can create, you can come up with all these great ideas together with your family, but only if you're taking care of yourself.
So you don't deal with kids directly, just parents, right?
I do not deal with kids directly. I only work with adults to help them set the environment for their child to flourish.
Okay.
I want to ask about your success rate in this, if you really do see changes, but I'm not sure if that's appropriate.
Yeah, no, you do. I've never helped a person that didn't get their dream.
Okay.
Because you're working with motivated people, they've paid you, they put an investment in there to make it happen. And it is up to both of us to make it happen, or all three of us, if I work with parents, multiple parents. And they do. Yeah, sometimes in mysterious ways, things happen that are beyond our control.
Okay.
Like, really? Well, I mean, like the death of people that make men realize that I've had two grandmothers die, the mother-in-laws die, and that turned the husband around completely to respect the wife in ways he never had before.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
That is very dramatic.
No, it was really dramatic. I was like, this is a little much. But it worked.
Okay. Let's talk about how people can reach you.
Email me.
Can you give some support over Zoom?
Oh yeah. I mean, now with COVID, that's all I do is work on Zoom or other platforms. So the best way to reach me is to private message me at Nurture Me Global, our Facebook group, or our Instagram. And also you can email me, parentcoachamanda@gmail.com.
Okay. I can personally recommend Amanda because she's an amazing person to start with as a parent coach. Yes, she has helped me and still helping me. My God, you're an angel. Like every time I struggle with something, I hear Amanda's voice. Like I'm trying to. What would Amanda say?
I'm often likened to Jiminy Cricket on someone's shoulder. Not an angel, Jiminy Cricket.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Amanda.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. See you next Thursday.
Thank y'all.